Now here's a game that nobody's ever heard of. This game is one of the reasons I built my retro PC. Its release sits in that tiny gap between latter-day DOS games and modern Windows games. As such, it's extremely fussy about what it'll run on. Anything beyond XP is tricky, and 64-bit is completely out of the question. So was it worth it? If you don't like bugs and spiders and things, look away now. V2000 is an action strategy game, and a follow-up to the 1987 game Zarch, which found its way onto the 16-bit home computers under the name of Virus. It's highly reminiscent of arcade game Defender in that your objectives are to fight off an alien menace in an airborne craft while protecting a lot of civilians. Except in 3D, because everything had to be in 3D, even games that were already 3D. V2000 is a shooter first and foremost. You pilot a tiny remote control VTOL, again in keeping with that RC theme we've stumbled into, equipped with a couple of machine guns. These are used to shoot the horrible bug creatures that have invaded for no reason whatsoever. It's all a bit grim, just listen to this ant's death sound. There's also a little strategy and micromanagement involved, in that there are bases dotted around the map into which civilians can be dropped off. Doing so allows them to build new weapons which can be used to more effectively shoot the horrible bug creatures. Lasers, chain guns, grenades, depth charges, all ripe for the taking. So far, so good. It's definitely a unique sort of game, but there's one big old flaw that we must address: the controls. Oh boy, the controls are a bit awkward. The best way I can describe it is like trying to push an elephant up the stairs. They're not inherently bad. You have separate controls for aiming up and down, accelerating and reversing, firing and changing weapons. All fine. Where the issues arise is when you need some elevation. The craft has two modes, hover and flight. In flight mode, it attempts to match the elevation of the ground beneath, so you're still theoretically able to shoot ground-based enemies. In practice, you just ram into everything, including the famous exploding trees. Careful with that axe, Eugene. Another issue is the camera. It's fixed to this tilted bird's-eye view over your craft, which drastically limits your field of vision. It's hard to hit anything unless it's right in your face, at which point it's already been shooting at you for a good long while. Last thing, it's very difficult to manage both keeping civilians alive and killing the horrible bug creatures, and you lose the level if more than 3 civs die. Note that you can also kill them by accident, for example when they run into your line of fire. I know I keep railing on about the problems this game has. I really want to enjoy it, and I do like the general concept of minute-to-minute gameplay, but I kinda wish it wasn't as complex as it is. So, to go back to my original question, was it worth it to build a whole PC just to play V2000? Well, not really, because it came out on PlayStation as well. Verdict: maybe play Air Mech instead.